Hawu sanibonani babukeli, sesiphinde sabuya thina nohlelo Yilungelo Lakho. It's your right. Thank you so much for joining us. Mina ngingu-Alisha inkosazana yakajali. Mbukeli ngithi kuwe sondela ngoba phela uzothola usizo njengomthengi. Khumbula ukuthi phela nawe ungabamba iqhaza kwinkulumo yethu yanamhlanje. Izingcingo zethu la e-studio zikakashintshi nje zithi 011 714 6918 noma 011 714 6919. You can also email us your thoughts to consumer@sabc.co.za. Noma usithole ku Facebook or send me a tweet directly at Alisha Jali #Yilungelo Lakho. Sawubona mbukeli. Indaba yethu yanamhlanje mbukeli, the saying a woman's hair is a crowning glory has given rise to a booming hairdressing industry in South Africa. From weaves to braids to relaxers, women and sometimes men just want to look good. But is anyone paying attention to the health and safety of this booming industry? Nankumbiko.
Uma uhamba edolobheni eJozi, ukhangwa inhlobonhlobo detayela tasenhloko. Tinwele letifakelwe, imichino, ema-relaxer, nema-chiscop. Kanti nema-saloon acaphakile, kude phela netise wonke lofuna kuba muhle. Labo labenta tinwele bahlala khona lapha etaladini, nemabhodi lakhangisa inhlobonhlobo detayela. Uma selitholakele ke customer, limikiswa e-saloon khona lapha estaladini, noma kulelinye lalamabhilidi. Kepha kulesiphithiphithi, ngabe ama-customer abuta imibuto lengiyo yini.
No, angibuzi. The thing engivele ngiyenze nje ukubheka ithombe. If ngibona ukuthi like esithombeni like lo muntu lamchunile kuhle, I think ukuthi nami uzongichina kahle, so angibuzi.
Ngifike nje ngibatshengisa whatever that I want to do and then mangenza. I don't ask questions. Because I feel ukuthi abantu abasebenza khona vele they know what they're talking about and they know what they do. I don't know. They wouldn't have a salon bangayazi into abayenzayo.
At times we have a hairdresser or a saloon, and then you find out that a person is not qualified, and then you will think for your health, okay, what kind of a product for your hair, and what kind of hairstyle so that your hair cannot be affected or your scalp cannot be affected. So I do ask Mina, because at the end of the day, I'm the customer and I'm the one who's going to pop out in Maliam.
Noma ngabe ngibani ke lonelikhono lekwenda inhloko nalofuna kwenda imali ngekusheshsha angayivula isaluni. Kepha lamanye lama-saloon awajabulisi njengalena nje lesekhathi estaladini. Buka nje tinwele phansi netintsambo tagesi ebaleni. Kusosana lestaladi kuleli bhilidi kuphishanekiwe yisaluni. Sekuphele iminyaka lemibili kusetshenzwa lapha. Njengoba kubhizi kanjena nje, engabaphephile yini ama-customer kulama battery lekuxhunywe kuwo le machine yekuhula.
Ukuba comfortable ngeke ngisho ukuthi ngisho ngoba kulama business akanje ama-salon lawa kanje angazi noma mhlambe arejistile la ukuregister khona mhlambe ngoba egcineni uthola ukuthi anama price ahlukene kaningi okugundwa ngawo ngoba uthola ukuthi hostel mhlambe sikunda ama 12 rand 15 rand but la ama 5 rand yabo. Ngicabanga ukuthi ukuphepha khona malapho ngoba bayakusebenzisa ama-chemicals ngibona senginesikhashana ngikunda la kodwa ngikaze ngiyithola mhlambe sengiyithola ngisikekile. Uma ngizwa inhlungu ezithile ngiyakhuluma nabo bekwazi ukusetha umshini then ngibe right.
Sibongiseni Mazibuko usebenzela i-hairdressing bargaining council. Umsebenzi wakhe uqinisekisa ukuthi ema-salon ahlala ahlobile futhi aphephile. Uvakashele lapha ke namuhla.
Ngicela ukubona imshini eniyisebenzisa noma uyi-1 nje. Umshini lo. Manje nokucleaner ngani mawuqeda ukugunda lo uzogunda la wenza kanjani?
Okay. First time when customer they come, we take this thing like a brush. Then we use to make like this. If it's not coming out, this thing we put oil. This thing is first to remove it with the oil. And when we make like this, we take a spirit and we make like this. It means we clean a chin.
Le saloon ide-sterilizer sekubulala emagciwane emshinini yekuvula. Kufafata le spirit nje kwaphela. Engabe lokhu kuphephe kangakanani? Nonhlanhla Khumalo, dokotela wesikhumba e-University of Cape Town, wenda licwaningo lolibonisa ukuthi kungasterilize kwemishini kudalwa ukuthi kuthelelwa netifo emasaluni. Njengoba ubona ke kude impompi noma isinki ekugeza tinwele kule salon. Kepha ke nema relaxer ayendiwa lapha.
50 rand relax. Iyiphi product enisebenzisayo? Iyo le.
Yeah, let's le i-bucket.
Yeah, le bucket.
Yeah, fakele amanzi.
Mangabe umuntu ezokwenza i-relax nimgeza kuphi?
Siyamgezela, siyathatha lezinye ama-packet siyathatha le manzi, siyamgeza.
Nakuletinye tindzawo ke kugezelwa kuwo lamabhakede. Yingoti yodwa ke le. Buka nje nati tithombe letikhombisa ukuthi i-relaxer isipheka kanjani isikhumba. Noma kunetinkinga letingaka kule salon, umnikati wayo Kenneth uthi uzama impilo.
Save to money because to depend how much money we correct it, because it's difficult to go to find another shop where we can find it's very expensive. We can't do money to pay that rent.
Kenneth ubhadala i-rent lebita 1,800 wemarandi ngenyanga kule salon. Njengoba kushiphekilele kuhula la, uthi usala ede lutho lolunganani lokutiphilisa. Sibongiseni uthi nalabanye banikati bemasalon baxoxa indzaba lefanako.
Mawukuya kuma township uthola amasalon anje. The only place la kunamasalon khona isimo sakhona esingcono it's where you go to kuma malls na kuma suburb, especially with Caucasian. But ama Afro salons we are experiencing u60% wale situation elanga phakathi salon.
Kwenziwa yini?
Ngicabanga ukuthi i-economy iphansi, the number of unemployment iphezulu kwi-country, so i-industry ethi shortcut. Anyone mangacabanga ukuthi I can pay 100 rand to buy a machine, then ucabanga ukuthi ayovula isalon to make a living.
Sibongiseni uthi akakwati kwavala emasalon lafana nalawa ngoba umthetho awumvumeli. Kepha maye ayingoti bo. Kulolucwaningo dokotela wesikhumba nonhlanhla Khumalo watfola ukuthi letinye taletinwele tekufakelwa tine chemical lekuthiwa yi-formaldehyde lengalimata emehlo. Ibanga tinkinga letiphathelene nekuphefumula kanti futhi ayikalungi kubomake labakhulelwe uma isetshenziswa ngemanani lecile. Dokotela Khumalo waphinze watfola ukuthi imibhalo kuletinwele iye ithi le chemical ayikho.
The hairpiece that she was using for my hair, it was not good for my hair. And I lost my hairliner. I had to buy another product so that I can bring back my hairliner.
Lama hair dryer nokubona mabenza abantu inwele, then those things suke ngicine sengikhohlela. Uyabona sengiphathwa izinto engazi-understand ukuthi yini due to maybe ile hair dryer ayisebenzisayo. Uyabona le inwele mazilokhu zingena ngicine sengiphathwa ama-sinus and all those things.
Breakage of hair, scalp siyakoma nje uba nezinye izinto la ekhanda.
Njengoba ke asimama emabhizinisi ekwenta tinwele kanti futhi kubonakala sengathi kude lonenzaba. Are South Africans sitting on a ticking time bomb? Zinhle Dlamini, Yilungelo Lakho.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngalo mbiko esiwenzele nguMadlamini uZinhle. Now to take our discussion further, let's extend a very warm welcome to Sisithezi Mabuza from the National Consumer Commission. Siphinde samukele noBut Patrick Themba obuye kwi-Hairdressing and Beauty Employers Association of South Africa. Siphinde samukele noDokotela Umphopowe ophuma kwi-South African Medical Association. Ladies and gents, a very good afternoon to you. Sanamukele ohlelweni.
Thank you so much.
Now, shocking and unbelievable truths, Kulia insert. Sisters, what do you make of that insert?
Cha empeleni njengabantu ekumele sisebenzise ama-hair salon kubhlungu nje lento esiyibonayo lapho siyazi ukuthi siyasibuke sizibuze ukuthi ugovernment uyayathini into esingayisho nje ukuthi ukuregisterwa kwamabhizinisi whether i-hair salon noma yini kunemikhakha emithathu kuyona okokucala nje ukuthi sine-regulation site okuyi-national government sine-provincial site ezo-issue ama-licenses ukuya ngokuthi imikhakha yiphi kanti futhi sine-provincial government le ebhekana namagumbi lapho kuyenzelwa khona ama-hair salon iphinde futhi ibheke nezinto environmental care so sonke isikhathi ke amabhizinisi akhona asemthethweni ayaye abe indaweni kumele sihlanzeke.
Patrick, what do you make of that insert that you just saw there?
Well, I think what we saw, it's the reality that we, in South Africa actually, that we experience as far as members are concerned. I think the problem actually is lack of knowledge, is lack of education on the part of those practitioners. I would like to refer to, but they are qualified as practitioners. It gives them a bit of, respect. But what we have seen actually, lack of, I don't think they training. So we have to try and say to our people how we can train them. And of course, they're in our organization, we are always constantly engaging with the sitters to try and say how can we come up with education and training in that regard. And I have to say we did play a part last year in trying to come up with a curriculum that actually looks at and unfortunately, there's an outcry amongst our members to say maybe the bargaining council as a regulatory body is not doing its, its duties. It appears it is, but in actual fact, in most instances, it is not able to do that. We may try to be a bit partial in my explanation, partisan in my explanation. In the
because
sense
you're not saying there, Patrick Uguti, it's also a consumer's, right, in fact, obligation to also know what they're getting themselves into, maybe a glamour salon. But I just want to hear the doctor's word. Doctor, what are your views?
It's actually scary, Sisi. Unfortunately, abantu bethu, they'll always go for the cheaper version. And lack of knowledge, it's not only lack of knowledge, even in the Bible, God says, my kids perish because of lack of knowledge. It's not only there, medically, so many things happen. And unfortunately, I'm not being xenophobic, but these people come into the country just to get bread, and for their bread to be buttered. And majority of them, they're not trained. And most of abantu bethu South Africa siyalapho. When I was growing up, there was 2 big salons that I know. No, 3 in fact. There was Alex's Salon, which they were trained very clean. I would never find something like that. There was BB those days, which was a hype. There was one in Mufulo. All those salons were Dr. Fingertips. And there was Duba Duba, which came Nabuputumi. Although he trained from nothing like that. No. Yonke into sterilize you. And the implication in health, it's really, really, really scary. And it's only respiratory or it's conduct pill. It's shocking. It's fraud.
Dr. Asibambe lapho sizongena kumaqabasha endabeni uma sibuya ebreakini. Masibambe lapho mbukeli sithi shelele ngaseyitolo. We'll continue with more after this break. Stay with us. Sukamgele futhi mbukeli. Remember, you can also contribute to the show by calling us on a +2711 714 6918 or 714 6919. You can also email us your views. Our email address is consume@sabc.co.za. Ungasithola futhi na ku Facebook noma ungithumele i-tweet. It's @AlishaJali #Yilungelo Lakho. But Patrick, awusichazele kancane about the organization. We really want to understand ukuthi yenzani i-Afro Hairdressing and Beauty Employers Association of South Africa.
So as we at times we might be considered it's a very simple thing. We work on 2 levels actually. As an employee association, employer association, represent the interests of Barona, go bargaining council first, where wages and conditions of employment are actually regulated and decided upon by all parties, stakeholders, the unions, and the bargaining council and all associations, whether black or white. That's where we sit. kantle ga moo, we now have to articulate their education and training needs go the sitters, which is what we engage, because sitters bana le di committees tse ngata mo tshwantse re eberele mo ya ka ke ne ke tlhalositse earlier on gore last year, the most of last year, we engaged in trying to come up with a curriculum. What we are not is a body that will stand at the corners and say, you can trade, you can trade. You are not that body. And gape ibile o kry le gore go na le dispute between wena le go rekileng something go teng. We cannot advocate for your rights because that is not us.
Okusho ukuthi obani ama-member enu, but Patrick?
Our members are actually South Africans who actually want us to represent them. I get freedom of association says anyone can affiliate to anyone. But I'm glad to say at this moment, if you can allow me to say, there's a need for us to speak with one voice. What I mean, black and white. There are white organizations, of course, and there are other black organizations. But recently we met about last month, Rakopana somewhere in Midrand, to say, can we not now have one body that says, that speaks for all South Africans and all that. Hakaranale that body, and I'm glad because we all agreed in principle to have actually one singular body to represent cosmetology and beauty and hair issues in all spheres as one body. So that's what we are working towards. Represented the interests of Barona at all levels as one single body in the coming few months, which is very exciting for me because we have never had this.
Yeah, it means we all know legit and we can hold them accountable if ever go nama problems. Sister, let's first understand the current rules and regulations that basically regulate industry in South Africa.
Industry yenwele is not a regulated industry. Into esingayisho nje ukuthi the Consumer Protection Act looked at it as a service. And uma ngabe unikezwe service wena njengomthengi kuyaye kube khona izinto engazi ukuthi ziyakuprotecta. Lokho kusho ukuthi uma ngabe uzoya uyokwenziwa inwele noma ulungisa inkopho ramashiya kanjalo, what it says is that the service that is supposed to be offered to you awuchazelwe kushiwo ukuthi uzo relaxwa inwele kuzosetshenziswa luphu khambi in terms of the content as well ukuthi there will be peroxide, there will be lye, there will be this, so that uchazelwe ukuthi yini izithako ezizosetshenziswa. Kanti futhi into ebalulekile ukuthi uma ngabe uthenga iproduct noma le product izosetshenziswa einweleni zakho kumele wazi ukuthi lokho okushiwoyo thina from ku Consumer Protection Act asinayo imithetho eqondene nalokho nje ngqo, but into ekhona ukuthi siyayisithathele kweminye imithetho njenge Food Cosmetics and Disinfectants Act esho khona ukuthi nangabe ukhona izithako ezosetshenziswa ekhanda lakho azibe semgangathweni zibe a product which is not prohibited, kanti futhi the strength and also what it is made of in terms of whether it's pure or contaminated, it has to be clear. So nangabe sikhuluma ngalokho kusho ukuthi kukhona eminye imithetho evumela abathengi, but kitho kubalulekile ukuthi awutshelwe ukuthi kuzosetshenziswa ziphi ithako kuzokwenziwana ekhanda lakho.
Okay, manje sisithezi laba abanokuthi unesaluni uzothatha mhlambe irelaxer enye ayifake kwelinye ibhokisi. How do you disprove that?
Lokho ilento esibiza ukuthi it's actually a person which is not fair and open to you, is unquestionable. Kusho ukuthi akathembeki lo muntu lo. Empeleni bekumele ukuthi nangabe uzosebenzisa whatever product, now black like me whatever product akube yona ku that container, so that nawe ukhululeke wazi ukuthi nangabe ngizorelaxwa ngalokho, ngoba abantu abaningi siyazi ukuthi udoctor ngiyathemba ukuthi uzofika kulokho sonke si react differently kuyithake ezithize, so awutshelwe then ngoba une right yokwenza ichoice yokusho ukuthi ngiyafuna kusetshenziswe lokhu noma cha angiphumeleli ngezizathu ezithize.
Siyabonga sisithezi Dr. Awusichazele please, what are some of the biggest health and safety concerns kule industry?
Okay, one I'll tell you there's quite broad, like I've said ngishilo ukuthi the most common yinywele, hair traction. There are good doctors in fact in South Africa. I'm proud to say that they're black and they're female. Professor Kumalo, who's the head of dermatology in Cape Town, and then Dr. Dlavu in KwaZulu-Natal. They've done quite a wide study about ilentolene inywele ama chemicals and the effects zakhona einyweleni zabantu scalp zabantu. What they actually talk about, and into sibona every day, ama hairline abantu ayahamba nini banempandlani kuphi ekhanda, you know, ama rings ekhanda, which is called alopecia medically. nje basic impandlani nje uthi iyahamba inywele ziyahamba uthola abantu banenywele halfway angazi esikole university into my half is student card so ekhanda angazi ukuthi zoyibizani and worst of all ukuthi zinama effects are different kone ama effects respiratory izoka affecta isifuba labantu ba develop ama allergy develop something like abo asthma like bronchitis and all that and ungazi ukuthi what causes all that we have for ama allergy test they don't find anything on the skin only to find that the problem is ekhanda sinabantwana abaqala ama periods at 9 years and you ask yourself why those chemicals are implicated with it now sibona gynecologically it's the fertility issue it's ama periods abantwana very early
and ngeke ucabanga ukuthi into esekhanda izokwehlela i-affect ngaphakathi
they call it precocious puberty but before boku abantu aba very few bazoba nayo but sibona abantu abaningi abantwana abaningi ba develop ngayo and then they would be bathi obesity and now we're saying no umntana normal slend presents with that we've got more and more young women presenting with fibroids ama growth avela phakathi kwesibeletho and they can't babe nabantwana abanye ba presenta ngama periods are abnormal ba menstruate kakhulu bayachitheka you know those are some of the things and then siya ku cardiology inhliziyo isifo senhliziyo ebantwini abaningi and aba understand ukuthi what is the problem how many of our brothers and sisters recently have died but he has died with no reason healthy exercise udla healthy but just collapse and that's it all of that is hair products you know allergies and lastly it's cancers
and the lack of knowledge I suppose
it's
doctor
lack of
is
knowledge.
The biggest contributing
it's
factor
lack of
to
knowledge
this.
it's wanting to be beautiful
asibambe lakhe sibeke lapho mbukeli let's now take another quick commercial break hlala nje kanjalo unganyakazi welcome back mbukeli khumbule ukuthi phela nawe ungazwakalisa owakho umbono ubuza izivakashi zami imibuzo ngokuthi ushayele ucingo la e-studio ku 011-714-6918 or 714-6919 you can also email us your views to consumer@sabc.co.za siyatholakala futhi ku Facebook na ku Twitter Black Mamba from Esibokeng siyakwamukela bhuti ohlelweni ngishilo ngathi no bhuti bayathanda ukubukeka bahle what is your question sir
Minjani ma?
Siyaphila bhuti wami, sicela uqhubeke ngombuzo noma umbono.
No, ngicela ukugcwalisa Dwayne khuluma ngakhona.
Qhubeka bhuti.
Just because into ebuhlungu yamasaluni ukuthi they are not professional into ezinjalo. I remember my wife last year beka esaluni and then ufaka lezi inwele lezi and then kwakho ukuthi ashe yabona and then it took her only